Hey everybody, it is the 22nd of April, and it is around 20 to 2 in the afternoon. I have accidentally cut my finger, and I got a bit of training on how to apply first aid. First thing I have to do is keep my hand elevated above my heart and apply pressure with cold water and a rag. So that I have to do for this one for a little while, because it is a nice cut. But I have some gauze here and some toilet paper and some electrical tape and some polysporin and some hydrogen peroxide. And I'm going to show you how to do this all when you live in the middle of the country, and it's going to take the ambulance about 45 minutes to get you to the hospital. So I will be back once I get the bleeding under control. Alright, I'm back. The bleeding has not stopped, but it is slowing down. I got the hot hydrogen peroxide. I've got my rag here that I'm still applying pressure to on my thumb. And so what I normally do is just pour it on the rag there. Yeah. So then I just pour a little bit on my thumb there. Yeah. When you work in the meat industry, you learn how to bandage up cuts that the doctor is going to pretty much bandage up or add a few stitches to. Okay. Now I got this piece of gauze here, and it's got some polysporin on it. And now that it is pretty much under control, I was cutting up some potatoes and it slipped on me. So what I do here is just put my thumb there, and then grab some toilet paper here. And then fold it up once, and then twice. And then that, so that it holds the gauze nice and neatly like that. Then I've got some electrical tape here, and what you want to do is sure it's all nice and neat. And this is when you want to apply the first one here, and then one right at the bottom so that it can stay in place on your thumb here. And then you want to kind of fold, because it's on the like where your fingerprints are on this particular cut. And go like that. Alright, now still got to do more here. Gotta get this little piece off. There we go. And then one here at the very top. This is where you really want to stretch and really apply the pressure to it to help stop the bleeding there, because I'm going to have to change this anyways. And then I take the whole roll of electrical tape and I make sure that I stretch it, but not too much, but enough to apply pressure. And you want to do it so that it's not choking off the circulation, but at the same time you want to do it so that it is applying some pressure and your thumb will not bend. So just like that. So just to get that nice. Other than the bandage, I am good to go back to whatever I was doing, which was cutting up potatoes. Now I will leave this one rag here. Yeah, it's a sock. I use socks that have holes in them for bandages, or not bandages, but to help with stuff like this. And then, so just got to rinse out this other one, because I will need it again. Make sure I get all the blood out. And when you do something like this, one of the biggest things, when you live alone, you want to keep your state of mind or your emotions under control. You want to take deep breaths, because if you start freaking out, well, it'll just help you hang that up there. Just closed up. You'll when you start freaking out, your heart will start racing, which means you will start pumping out more blood, which is not good. And then you will eventually, I know in my case, I've cut myself a number of times and applied first aid, and that feeling of wanting to faint and puke and stuff like that will begin to happen, and that's something you don't want to do, especially if you're living alone. So, yeah, so try to keep your heart pace down, and try to think about the next steps, applying pressure with cold water. In this case, because I'm a guy and I've always got getting holes in my socks and stuff like that. So I use socks, to apply pressure in cold water to help cauterize, not so much cauterize, but to help slow down the bleeding and add pressure, and then keep it above your heart. This is about good enough when this happens. And once the bleeding slows right down, you want to get the gauze, toilet paper, whatever you may have in your medical kit. And mine's pretty simple. It's about as simple as it'll ever get. Because 9 times out of 10, well, I wouldn't say 9 times out of 10, I'd probably say 7 times out of 10, what you just seen me use is necessary. So for me, because it usually happens when you're using knives to process food, to pressure can or water bathe or what have you. So yeah, just try to keep a calm, cool, and collected mind. And apply your first aid. So there you go. I hope you find this useful.